Hello guys, it's Tinjus, and today I am just going to be talking about the Kha'Zix nerfs. Ooh, yeah boy, don't we all love Kha'Zix nerfs? Gotta love it, change is good, right? And yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about them, why they are just absolutely horrible for Ka. Like, it's not even funny. I think these nerfs are like really stupid, and they will probably just kill the champ in high elo, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll really just have to test them out on live servers, but from what I've seen right now, as far as I'm concerned, Kha'Zix is going to be in a pretty rough spot after these nerfs come through. So yeah, for those of you that want to see some gameplay as per usual, I'm going to leave it up on the screen, but I won't be diving into the gameplay this time. I'm just going to be talking to you. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and you know, I definitely want to talk about this because it's a very hot topic and kind of controversial as to how they're approaching Kha'Zix right now. So yeah, so what are they doing with Kha'Zix? For those of you who don't know, they are reducing the Q Taste Their Fears bonus AD ratio from 130% to 115%. And they're also reducing the Q's isolation bonus AD ratio from 273% to 241.5% bonus AD. Now, these nerfs, man, they're huge. Like, holy shit. I don't think we've had such a massive nerf to Kha'Zix's damage in a very long time. And I really don't know what the fuck they were thinking, honestly, because as an assassin, Kha'Zix already has one of the least damaging kits in the game when it comes to their basic combo. Obviously, that's not the case all the time. When people are isolated and you're fed, you can one-shot people quite easily. But yeah, and now this season has had Kha'Zix just deal with so much bullshit, healing and shielding and armor, and season 11, 200 years of experience. Like, he already has a very hard time going in for kills unless the enemy is severely mispositioned. And Assassin Kha'Zix is borderline unplayable against coordinated teams who know how to counter Kha'Zix and build correctly. So from what I see, these changes are directed quite heavily towards the lower elos, where Kha'Zix can go crazy in a lot of games and punish lots of mistakes that low elo players will make. And you know, from that standpoint, I get it, but at the same time, why are we balancing the game for low elo players? Like, why? I get it. Like, low elo players and casual players, they make up a lot of the player base, and they are important. I agree, they're pretty important. But still, like, in regards to a change like this, it doesn't really add up, and I feel like they're really going to destroy Kha'Zix in the higher elos, man. Like, it's not even funny. Yeah, I feel like Kha'Zix is going to have a lot of trouble in the higher elos for sure. So let me give you the current characteristics of Kha'Zix right now in high elo. So for an assassin that needs a lot of resources to snowball, and with very minimal gank setup, Kha'Zix is considered a slow clearing jungler and a weak early game champion. Or what? Kha'Zix weak early game? Didn't know that? Well, now you do. He has a hard time fighting at level 3 against meta junglers like Lee Sin and Xin Zhao, without Conqueror anyway, and he can be punished very easily by high priority team comps and fighting in minions. Yes, you stand next to a minion and Kha'Zix is suddenly useless. Wow, who would have thought? But yeah, that being said, when Kha'Zix manages to punish mistakes and, you know, he gets a lead early, he can actually become a very strong scaling option, and he'll almost always be useful because of the strength of his W evolve slow and R evolve utility. Without a leash, you can finish a full clear by about 3 minutes 23 seconds. That's without a leash. That's the fastest time I've ever gotten, I'm pretty sure. And with a good leash, you can actually be slightly faster. And you can actually get a pretty decent speed if you start at blue buff side with a very strong leash in the bot lane, but still, like, Kha'Zix's clear speed it's simply garbage compared to the current farm heavy meta junglers like Zed and Kiana and, let's say, Nidalee and, you know, a lot of other champs. Hell, even champs like Rengar and Evelynn can full clear before Scuttle Crab spawns, and Kha'Zix is just left in the dust when it comes to clearing the jungle now. It used to have quite a decent clear, but there's a lot of power creep going on right now and new ways to clear the jungle, etc. And yeah, so because of this, Kha'Zix's success early game, it relies heavily on players making mistakes to him scaling up and getting level 6 to the point where he can hopefully pick up isolated targets. So in high elo, where people are much more cautious of getting caught out, Kha'Zix can have a very hard time finding opportunities in the early game because of the fact that he takes quite a while to scale and he needs resources to scale. So he's usually put into a situation where you're forced into running Conqueror or a more Bruiser build in order to succeed in the game. So yeah, in my opinion, I actually thought Kha'Zix was in a very solid spot, right? I didn't really have any complaints in regards to Kha'Zix himself, because he has clear weaknesses early game. You know, he's not that strong early, and that's fine. And he has clear counterplay with isolation. And he was just able to scale up really well if he got the resources he needed. And, you know, if you played the game right, if you played Kha'Zix right, you could actually perform very, very well, as a lot of Kha'Zix players already did. Yeah. He also had plenty of build options, so you can, you know, perform really well in game just by choosing the right build for the situation. You know, that he was good like that, very, very flexible. But unfortunately, there is just currently an excessive amount of defensive itemization options available for all classes, namely just, you know, the common ones. You know, Immortal Shield Bow, you got Gore Drinker, Sterax, Guardian, Locket, you know, Moonstone supports, and as well as just overloaded bullshit champions in the game. That the current state of Kha'Zix is simply, it's just overshadowed by all of the Season 11 years of experience. So it's not that Kha'Zix is necessarily a bad champion right now. In fact, on paper, right? Emphasis on paper, he's really good. But I like to think, and I think most of you can agree with this, that Season 11 is just completely broken. It's just completely broken. It's crazy how broken this game is right now. And Riot doesn't seem to realize or care about it at all. And this is where Kha'Zix's struggles come from, right? It's not his kit, it's not how strong he is, it's the fact that Season 11 just fucking sucks so much. Everything is just broken, and it's not even funny. And that is making Kha'Zix fall behind in terms of power, regardless of if he has a good win rate or not. I'll touch on the win rate a bit later. So that being said, he has a hard time of doing his job as an assassin because of the meta, and he usually has to resort to utility evolutions, you know, W and R evolve, as well as more defensive playstyles to succeed in the meta. So let's talk about low elo now. Haha, this will be a quick one. Yeah, Kha'Zix is broken in low elo, let's be honest. He punishes mistakes super well, he scales super hard, and will one-shot people who are a few levels below him and don't build anything defensive. No, like, he'll literally one-shot people with a single Q. You've seen my videos. It's kind of funny. Like, he will one-shot people. So the consensus in the community right now is that some Rioter must have gotten one-shot by Kha'Zix Q. He must have walked into a bush or something, and he just gotten, you know, Kha'Zix pressed Q, and then he instantly died, you know, with 1,000 damage isolated Q. And so they decided to nerf him, which, honestly, it wouldn't be a surprise, man. There's literally nothing else to say in that regard. Other than Kha'Zix is actually a very hard champion to play if you don't know how to play him. He's not someone that, you know, you can just pick up and do super well with, unless you're against really, really terrible enemies. It's extremely unforgiving playing Kha'Zix, because to get fed, you usually need to take resources from your team. And so if you die while you're fed, it can be very, very punishing for yourself and your team. It's very, very hard to play Kha'Zix, and people that say that Kha'Zix is, you know, an easy, you know, brain dead champ, they really have not, like, no, just no, you haven't played against good players again as Kha'Zix, trust me. But yeah, it's hard to play this champ properly, as many of you might have seen in my videos. But that being said, I would say currently he does his job just fine against low elo players, and against high elo players he does his job below average for sure. Not unplayable, but he's definitely below average relative to the meta champs. So yeah, how are these nerfs going to affect Kha'Zix? Well, I mean, lowering his damage right now in the meta, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt pretty bad. And Kha'Zix was most likely going to lose the majority of games against meta champs. Or at least he's going to have a much harder time. Like, fuck, if you thought if you thought it was hard now to kill an Immortal Shield Bow ADC with a Soraka or Yumi next to them with Guardian and Exhaust, you're just going to cry now, because you're not going to deal damage. I'm sorry, but this champ's damage is really not good in the majority of scenarios. The only scenario in which Kha'Zix can thrive in is if the enemy is completely alone, isolated, and out of position, which rarely happens if we're being realistic. Keep in mind, I'm talking about Assassin Kha'Zix here. Bruiser Kha'Zix is another story, because he's literally just taking advantage of broken items, W Evo, you know, and other things to, well, basically become a meta champion. But Kha'Zix's identity is an assassin, and with lethality being absolutely garbage right now relative to bruiser items, he's gonna get hurt a lot, like a lot. I've said this before, but yeah, he's gonna get hurt a lot. Keep in mind though, of course, I haven't played with these changes yet, and I won't until it comes out on live servers, but I just wanted to discuss this with you guys and just let you know my thoughts after looking at some other Kha'Zix mains thoughts, etc. I really think he's gonna need some compensation buffs to keep up with the power creep in the game, and still be a viable champ in higher elos. This is my opinion. With these nerfs to his damage, in my opinion, Kha'Zix really needs bonus damage on his W against monsters. Like, because right now, his clear is already very average, and with the nerfs, his clear is just going to be even worse. Like, he's not going to stand a chance against junglers who can outfarm him. It's just going to be sad, man. It's already tough to play this champion. The general expectation for the Kha'Zix nerf among Kha'Zix players was that his W evolve would get nerfed, because it's commonly agreed upon that the success of Kha'Zix in high elo and the reason for his high win rate is because of the fact that his W slow, which is 90% when isolated, you know, it's pretty strong. It's just an insanely powerful tool to set up your team and create plays. Half the time, you kind of have to resort to this W evo in order to be useful against teams where you can't assassinate. And I think I speak for the majority of the community when I say that the necessary Kha'Zix changes required right now are to nerf his Q damage. Nerf his W evolve slow and increase his W's damage against monsters. Honestly, you can nerf the damage on Q if you go ahead with the things I just said. You can nerf the damage, like, go ahead, legit. Go, nerf the Q damage, but let the champ clear his goddamn jungle, like, please. It's not even funny how slow and how time consuming it is for Kha'Zix to take his camps, and because of this, he desperately needs kills and lane tax to get ahead of other junglers and the game. But yeah, that's what I think and what others have said so far in regards to the changes. Yeah, I think that's about it. So how will this affect the way Ka is played going into the future? Well, in essence, he's going to be weaker across the board. You know, his level spikes, his item spikes, everything will be weaker in general. His Q is just so crucial for him in every single way, and so he's just going to be weaker across the board. I'm going to try and experiment with some stuff and see how it plays out. You know me, consume and adapt. We're Kha'Zix players, that's what we got to do, no matter what happens. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying some more utility-based builds, because with these nerfs and the upcoming preseason changes, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to get single spell rotation kills on enemies. I mean, especially with that new item, that new mage mythic coming out, Even Shroud, that is going to ruin my day for the rest of my days. It's going to ruin my games, and it's not going to be fun. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get single spell rotations. Single spell rotation assassinations. Does that make sense? Like, you won't just be able to full combo someone and kill them. You probably need an extra Q or so. So yeah, I'm thinking high cooldown reduction builds could potentially be pretty good for him after the nerfs go through. So I'm thinking, like, I don't fucking know, I'll figure it out. Nothing in mind right now, but I think high CDR is going to be pretty important, maybe. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. Again, Like, if these changes do go through, it is what it is. We're gonna have to adapt, as I said. I have really low hopes for Kha'Zix in the meta after the nerfs, but something positive that comes out of Kha'Zix not being meta is that he's not gonna get banned. Yeah, baby, let's go. So we can play him whenever we fucking want, pretty much, I think. I don't think he'll be banned. I don't really know why he was getting banned in the first place, but, you know, people don't really like playing against Kha'Zix. I understand it's not fun. I don't like playing against Kha'Zix either. But yeah, it's just not really... I can understand why he's getting banned. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna lower the ban rate. The nerfs will let us play the bug boy some more. Juicy. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. That's gonna do it for me. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening. Subscribe if you're new here. I'm sorry I haven't streamed that much lately. I've just been preoccupied, you know, updating all my stuff and being busy. But yeah, I'm trying to continue with the YouTube uploads at the very least. And I've been playing off stream just a little bit. But yeah, I do miss you guys on stream. And yeah, thank you guys for all your support. It really means a lot to me. I'm so lucky to have an awesome community like you guys. I know we're not the biggest, but I plan on getting bigger. And I can't wait for preseason to come out, man. I can't wait for it, even though it's going to be an absolute shitfest. I'm pretty excited so that I can start experimenting with all the new items and the new changes, etc. You know, as they say, change is good. Well, maybe not in this case. Change might not be so good here. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy Kha'Zix while you can, before he gets nerfed. You know, enjoy Halo Blades and all that stuff. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.